that's what leaders is for, to create more leaders after all, right?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. One of the things that I often hear amongst the circle that I hang in is, how do you spell leadership? And it's EXAMPLE, right? You have to lead by
Yes.
example. And if you can't lead yourself, which, let's be clear, it's not always the easiest thing to do. It's a continuous journey. But if you can't lead yourself, then you kind of really haven't earned the right to lead others. And when you can do it, then it's really just about showing other people what's possible, right? Particularly if you have a purpose, if you can be persistent, if you can develop a consistent and, I guess, regular work ethic. So it's not something that you just do once and the work stays done. It is a constant, piece of work that you engage in, because our default is probably not, to continue to do things that take us to the next space. In other words, every day there's got to be at least another step forward.
Yes, thank you for answering my next question on leadership, and making it sound so simple for us.
Well,
by
it's
defining
interesting.
it with one word, which is an example. What would you say would be the top three problems that leaders would normally face as well?
Yeah, no, I thought that was a good question. And, it's interesting because I'm not sure that our current situation has defined a new set of problems. In other words, I think, some of the problems that we've seen in the past are still going to be the problems that we face today and tomorrow. And so the three that kind of came to mind for me were, number one, stay relevant, right? So how do I maintain that level of relevance and the position of adding value to whatever my customer base might be. The second one is, creating stable and sustainable growth, right? No matter what industry I'm in, if I'm not growing, if I'm not moving forward, then effectively I'm moving backward. And then the last one is really attracting and retaining what I call transformative talent. So there's always been this notion of the talent war, the war for talent. How do you get people in? And I think this probably is one of those things that's more prevalent today, is that you have, sort of young people, next generations, who have quite a different expectation for what their journey is going to look like from a career perspective. And so how do you find the right people and make sure that you've created the environment that makes them want to stay and contribute the best that they can to your collective growth? So for me, those are probably, three of the top problems. And, there are probably many, many more that didn't come to mind, but those are the ones that I chose to share.
What are the capabilities and skills do you believe will be important and be able to help address the top problems that you've shared with us?
Well, it's interesting, right? Because when I thought about that question, I think capabilities and skills, I think about, maybe some of the hardcore technical things that people need to learn, or if you're in a particular industry, there's something specific that you need to learn about that product or service. But when I think leadership, and leadership is, again, not a function of hierarchy, it's a function of calling and showing people the way. To me, it kind of starts within, and I shared this earlier, but I believe that one of those qualities or capabilities, if you will, is self-awareness. You need to understand who you are, what actually drives you. Do you have a value system? Do you have purpose? And that needs to permeate pretty much everything that you do. And the second one is relatability, because again, if you're not able to relate to other people, then you may think you're leading, but if no one's following you, then you're just out for a walk, right? And I'm sure many people have heard that analogy before, but you kind of have to make sure that you are relating to other people, understanding what it is that they want, and how do you actually help them get what they want. And that leads to sort of that third quality or capability from my perspective, which is one of service. Are you adding value to whomever you're coming into contact with, whether you're leading them, whether you're working in conjunction with them, whether you're providing a service to them? How is it that their lives, their experience is enriched because of who you are, and maybe even the group that you're working with? So if you can leave a person, an organization, a group better, after you've left than when you found it, then you've provided some degree of value or service. So I think those are, for me at least, three qualities, call them capabilities or skills, because they can be learned, that leaders really do need to have in order to lead effectively.